David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. Happy New Year. Yes, it's 2022, and this is our Where to Travel in 2022 show. We're kicking off the year right, telling you the key destinations that you should go this year. No matter what's happening in the world of the pandemic, these places are open to most visitors. We'll talk about that as we go. So I'll share the key destinations, and I'll share my insights and the research I do, that if you can go vaccinated or unvaccinated or what the rules are. It's always changing, but these are destinations I think that are home runs for this year. This is the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. If you're new to us, we're all about inspirational travel and education on destination that is part of your bucket list. Please like this and subscribe to it wherever you're watching it, and follow our Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel and subscribe to that channel. Some great shows the last 2 years and more to come this year. So where's my first destination? Where are we going to go? The Hawaiian Islands. Normally, I wouldn't say Hawaii. They've been pretty strict, but that's why you want to go there. They have opened up the best way possible. They were totally closed down, phased opening, and it's very safe there. They're handling this pandemic of all the destinations around the world, one of the best. And after weeks of threatening more because the Omicron variant, they just relaxed their quarantine to 5 days. And if you're tested positive, and they've made it easy with their safe travel program. So Hawaii, of all things, after being the strictest for so many months and over a year, is now one of the easier destinations to visit. Plus, for those in the U.S. watching this show, it's domestic, no passport needed. And of the Hawaiian Islands, I can do a whole show about that. I did one last fall on my Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel. Check that out. And I will do one again as it reopens up to tourists. Definitely Maui is one of the most popular islands in the world, the Romance Island. I love the Big Island, and Kauai is amazing. Honolulu is a bit busy, but there are some tourist destinations you want to see. But I recommend the Kauai and Big Island are my two favorite. We'll talk about that in a different show. So what's up next? Alaska, by land and by sea. Alaska is also another destination. The way I'm categorizing this is it open for travel? And how have they opened? Is it safe there? And there's a lot of ways to qualify safe, and if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. But these are destinations I believe just to be home runs, dying for tourists, not seeing a lot of tourism recently, especially Alaska and Hawaii, and they'll be real receptive to your tourist dollars when you go there. What does that mean by land and by sea? Well, we have, of course, your land tours in Central Alaska. Most of the ports in the Inside Passage are by cruise ship. Cruise ships started sailing there this summer in 2021, thanks to an exception of our U.S. Congress and the Passengers Service Vessel Act. And they're now allowed to sail there without stopping in Canada. And Canada has reopened to cruise ships, so that is allowed for next summer. And I have clients booked for next summer. So by cruise is a great way to travel. They're going 100% vaccinated, a lot of testing before and after. The outbreaks you hear on the news are not outbreaks at all. They're small amounts of numbers being handled very well because they're well prepared for it. I think cruising in general I'll talk about, but Alaska is a fantastic cruise destination. If that's not your fancy, then by land, you can always go the Great White North of Alaska and fly into Anchorage or Fairbanks and other cities. And numerous tours are available through Alaska, or just rent a car and drive around. Obviously, the summer season is, I would say, May-ish to September-ish, when the days are the longest and it's like 18 hours a day. But amazing destination for the summer, and one that hasn't seen a lot of tourists the past couple of years. Next up, Mexico. Mexico, specifically Los Cabos, Riviera, Maya, and Cozumel. Why I mention these destinations, I'll talk about in a second. But Mexico has always been open to U.S. tourists, especially, and European tourists and worldwide. They've handled shutdown a little differently. They protect their people, but left tourist destinations open, and it's worked for them. And I know travel agents that went there in the peak of last year's shutdown, and I've sent clients there since last August to Los Cabos and other places. They've had a great time, always open. I've heard of one person, a client that booked here in Key Largo where I live, that couldn't get in because she just had COVID, but that was the first time of anyone getting denied travel to Mexico. So it's, Mexico, always open. Why these destinations? There's other issues in Mexico. There's some drug wars going on, and they end up killing each other on a beach in Cancun recently. It was isolated to them. If you don't want to go to Cancun, Riviera, Maya to the south are secure, very big, sprawling resorts that are gorgeous. Don't have to leave the resort. I can recommend them for you. Just go ahead and contact me. Los Cabos, whole different part of the country on the west, on the Baja Peninsula. Very safe, very affluent, and very welcome to tourists. Been open since last June of 2020. It's a great tourist destination. And Cozumel, a small island. The drug traffickers aren't out there too much. So a great island. You can actually ferry from Cozumel to Playa del Carmen on the mainland and go back and forth and stay at resorts on both sides. Those are destinations I recommend for this year, anytime, including now. Obviously, as you hit the summer months, it's going to be colder. And I have been to Costa Maya and Cozumel on a cruise this past summer, and both were very welcome to tourists and can't wait to go back. Next, we have the Caribbean and Bahamas cruises after May 1st. Yes, cruises are a bad subject right now, as they were last year. Cruises get a bad rap. The Center for Disease Control, the CDC, has it all wrong. I completely disagree with the recent analysis saying, oh, no one should cruise even if vaccinated. No, they don't understand the industry, and they're not doing their job of educating people. They're trying to regulate. Not your job. Sorry. Get out of what you're doing. CDC has not handled this pandemic well at all, and that's just my opinion. And here's a good example. Cruises are 100% vaccinated, testing before you got on the port. And then if someone has a case or contacts someone else, everyone gets isolated till they all test negative. And they have certain rules in place and following CDC regulations, which are very strict, to the nth degree. That's what makes cruising so safe. You're in an enclosed environment. Oh, no, but that's even better because it's an enclosed environment of vaccinated passengers. We now know this Omicron variant is even affecting the vaccinated, but with minor symptoms and really some hospitalization, but no deaths. And most of the hospitalizations, honestly, are unvaccinated people. So with cruising, no one's even getting really sick. Of all the cases, the outbreaks on board, and you got to love our media hyping everything, they're actually very minor, just testing, and people are not even feeling sick. So cruising's the way to go. Why I say March? Because of the hype and the concern of Omicron. They have canceled a lot of sailings. I wouldn't book one for the next 2 months just because they're shuffling too many things around right now. And I wouldn't want your cruise to be canceled after you book. That's just my feeling. I am a travel agent for cruises. Saying that hurts my business, but March isn't that far away. Just give yourself some margin of safety. But after March, especially Caribbean, Bahamas, Europe's a different story because Europe, you're dealing with getting to a Europe destination and dealing with the cruise line regulations there. I would wait until summertime when the cruise season comes back to book a European cruise. Let's talk about European destinations. The next top, Europe is starting to reopen. I got specific examples. Here are topics coming up. I just picked some, not at random, but ones I read about that to me were very exciting and some sides very surprising. And these are destinations I think that you want to put on your bucket list for this upcoming year. Again, I mentioned the cruises. Wait until summer. That's the season anyways. You could book those now because, again, the vaccination rules for cruising, you'll be set to go. For the unvaccinated traveler, and I'm known for my shows on unvaccinated travel, cruising is not for you right now. There are some niche European lines you could probably get on I could recommend, but in general, the cruise lines that serve North American market, because of all the hype of the CDC and them really calling out and singling out cruising, they have to go 100% vaccinated, no matter what the state of Florida says, because of all the scrutiny on them. So sorry, it's just not going to work out for unvaccinated travelers. But travel to Europe will, and I keep telling people, like Croatia is open. For a while, Italy was open unvaccinated. Now they keep changing. And by the way, every country you can get into almost, with an exception. You have to quarantine. You may have to follow certain rules and regulations. You may have to test more when you get there. But I had clients and travel agent friends travel to Europe this summer, 2021, unvaccinated, even sailed on a cruise unvaccinated. Now, the cruising part is impossible anymore. That same cruise line went to 100% vaccination because of what I talked about. But Europe is available. So let's talk about specific examples. Again, the Croatia one, I threw out my last show about Omicron. Check that out on YouTube a couple months ago. but because Croatia has been more open than others because that's just been their regulations. Every country's a little different. Pick the country that's least regulated if you're unvaccinated, fly into there, and then train or drive around. There'll be less scrutiny once you're on the ground. There's passport checks here and there, and even at train stations, but overall, it's less strict than flying into a destination. Just ask Novak Djokovic flying into Australia, 9-time Australian champion. Not sure if he can play right now. Australia and New Zealand are not on my list for next year, unfortunately. They are so strict. Starting to open up a little bit, but not yet. I sell them a lot, but we're going to wait a little while longer till I recommend them. Let's talk about specific destinations in Europe that are exciting because I've already booked clients for this. Ireland for St. Paddy's Day. Ireland, I have a friend that lives outside of Dublin. He couldn't drive last year a mile from his house without hitting a checkpoint, asking him what he was doing. And he lives there. That's how their shutdown was. You thought our shutdown was bad. Hell, in the Florida Keys, we had a roadblock. At least I can go from store to store without someone stopping me. So some of these countries had to integrate. For a strict shutdown, they're now opening up and relaxing their rules and follow, believe it or not, our CDC rule of 5-day quarantine if tested positive, but they're becoming easy to travel to. And don't worry about what our State Department says about the hot list. That's not your concern. Your concern is the country you're flying into and what they say. And on my Omicron video from a couple months ago on YouTube, I give awesome resources how to research this, or just direct message me wherever you're watching this, and I'll answer the question for you of how it is to travel in that country. It depends where you're coming from, where you're going to, and when you're going. Those are 3 key factors. And Ireland right now is allowing numerous countries in at an easier basis where St. Paddy's Day is possible. I have American-based clients booked. They were freaking out because the State Department, I said, don't worry about that. According to the tourism websites in Ireland, you are fine. You are vaccinated, or you are this, you are that. So St. Paddy's Day in Ireland, woohoo, sláinte. Oberammergau, say that 10 times fast. In Germany, you wouldn't know about this town except for once every 10 years. They put on the Passion Play for the last 500 years. The whole village, over 2,000 people, get involved in this amazing representation of Jesus Christ. And by the way, it's all in German if you do go. It's so hard to get tickets. It's once every 10 years. Now, COVID shut down in 2020. They need time to ramp up. So now it's on for 2022. And from what it looks like, it's going to happen. There's great cruises booked around, extensions for it. There's trips in general I could sell you that are packages. I'm becoming an Oberammergau expert because of researching Passion with my clients. And I may go too, thanks to my next destination that I'm going to end with in a couple of seconds. But this is a beautiful part of Germany, down more in Bavaria. If we'd fly into Munich, would probably be your closest. And go enjoy Germany out there. Enjoy this amazing, once in a lifetime, really once in a decade experience of seeing the Passion Play. And now, even though I'm not deeply religious, I grew up Christian, I still want to see this because of the opportunity. Check it out. And Germany is fairly open right now. They are getting more and more open to tourism. They know after 2 years of canceling the Passion Play and some other big events, they have to get back to it, and they're going to make sure it happens. And my last one, as far as 2022, because I'll be there myself, my buddies, I'm still working on rebooking my flights, is Munich, Germany for Oktoberfest. Yes, in the heart of Bavaria, we're going to enjoy beers, Oktoberfest. It actually happens mostly in September, is late September. It's called Oktoberfest because it ends in October. This was famous Ludwig II, I believe. It was his party when he got married in the late 1800s. It was such a good party. They now have it every year. And the Thyssen, the Fields of Teresa, east of Munich, they build these tents for 6 months. They're already building them now, so cross your fingers. It's been canceled in 2020, canceled in 2021. This was my 50th birthday trip with my high school buddies. We put it off twice. And this year, it looks like we're going to go. We're going. I'll be in the Oktoberfest September 26th to 29th. I'll post that in the description of the video here later in the comments. And come join us and go take in the Passion Play, whether it's going around the same time. Passion Play goes from the spring until the fall, numerous performances over many, many months. And I can provide more details for that. But yes, Oktoberfest is back, and we plan to be there. this is our time to take in our heritage, our beer drinking heritage of Germany. I am part German and part Irish, a lot of other things. But I'm excited to go back and have Oktoberfest. And please come join us on late September this year. I have a guy named Thirsty Swagman, Australian guy who has great packages with the best hotels right outside the Thies in the fields of Teresa. And right there, boom, walking into the big fairgrounds. It's now a big fair, and we're going to take it all in. He comes and join us. Tickets to the best tents. It's a complete package, and I found this guy online. He's awesome. So I have my friends booked through them in a whole travel package. We're stopping in Ireland, Dublin on the way. Woo-hoo! And then we're stopping in Amsterdam on the way back. But you can just join us in Munich. Those are my destinations, guys. If you want to reach me about anything, you can direct message me wherever you're watching it. David Hartman, luxury travel advisor, owner of Fantastic Endeavor Travel Agency. If you also know Skip Shearer, Sue Mooney, yourself and me, we are full-service travel agent specialists. We can cover every destination we cover today, 305-453-9208 or dave@bucketwithship.com. Always best to email me requests so I can print them out and start taking notes right away on what you need. We did cover today where to travel in 2022. If you caught this live right now, please, at the end, watch it, watch the beginning, and like and share wherever you're watching. It does help me out. And subscribe to my Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel. Every week, we got another great show coming this week. I've enjoyed the journey. We will see you next week. Happy New Year and safe travel.